It is a tale as old as time. Studio dumps director. Director gets with another studio. Ex studio begs to have director back. Director says, I will come back once I've shown you what you're missing out on. That is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Task Force X, otherwise known as the Suicide Squad, are sent to a small island that has been overrun by a militia in order to get rid of Project Starfish. So I was really excited for this one. Not only is it James Gunn's big return since 2018's incident, but it's also another Suicide Squad film. And while I'm not a massive comic nerd, the one comic I do tend to read, especially the modern ones, is the Suicide Squad. So I was hyped for this. That second trailer I didn't do a reaction for, that gives me chills every time I watch it. So naturally, I went in with high expectations. And I was a little bit afraid that maybe I've overhyped it for myself. But my god, James Gunn must be feeling so smug right now because not only is this better than the original Suicide Squad in 2016, it is arguably one of the DCEU's top tier movies. Does the DCEU even exist anymore? Genuinely, I don't care. And I'm going to try and avoid any comparisons to the 2016 version. I will make some references here and there, but I want to look at this as a film itself. One thing I do love, though, is how this film doesn't disown the David Ayer movie. And I'm not even going to crap on David Ayer because Warner Bros. You see, this right here is why you give your directors full creative control. Warner Brothers gave James Gunn all the control he wanted. He was allowed to kill whoever he wanted. And lo and behold, look at the gold that presents you. So I would still see an Ayer cut. But back to this movie right here, right now. It is just unbelievable how much I enjoy this movie. It's not about its flaws, but damn, it's really good. Let's talk about the cast first of all, because there are some stacked performances across the board. Margot Robbie is, as always, great as Harley Quinn. I don't think I can see anyone else playing that role if Margot Robbie ever steps down. And I dare say, this is the best we've ever seen Harley Quinn. She is great in Birds of Prey, of course, but this one was the basically the full Harley Quinn treatment. This is the truest show of Harley Quinn, the chaotic neutral wild card that is clever but simple at the same time, vicious yet funny at the same time. She is just brilliant in this, and I loved Harley in this. And one of my big worries coming into this was maybe they'll make it the Harley show because I remember the original Suicide Squad was, and with Harley Quinn being the most recognizable name of these characters, I was a little bit worried that it would be the Harley Quinn show. And while there are a couple of scenes that are definitely focused on Harley, whenever she's with the team as a whole, they are that. They're exactly that, a team. There's no one that takes center stage over everyone else. Everyone gets their equal screen time, everyone gets their moments, everyone gets their funny moments, their emotional moments. Everyone gets something. Idris Elba as Bloodsport is absolutely brilliant. It's like they couldn't bring Will Smith back to play Deadshot, so they just took another character that's almost exactly like Deadshot, and Idris Elba knocks it out of the park. As for John Cena as well, this is arguably the best I've ever seen John Cena act. The dynamic between him and Idris Elba when it's Peacemaker and Bloodsport, basically having a dick measuring contest with how great they are at shooting. It's some of the funniest moments in this movie, and just some of the looks they give each other. Oh, it's I can't even describe it. Just their dynamic is a lot of fun to watch, and their rivalry is very much akin to the Deadshot Captain Boomerang rivalry from the Suicide Squad comics. I also have to talk about how they didn't disown the 2016 version. In this one, the returning characters are obviously Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, and obviously Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. And these three do interact with each other, and they do act like they get along and remember each other. So maybe this is set after that 2016 movie. I like how it doesn't directly acknowledge it, but it does show us that these three characters do know each other and have that existing bond. Whereas with the other characters, they've got to start forming those bonds. And I really appreciate the film for doing that. James Gunn was not kidding when he said he was allowed to kill anyone he wanted, because right from the get go, this film throws you in that deep end and it doesn't let up for the entire 2 hour runtime. It's absolutely mental, the opening 10-15 minutes. Like, if you are in the UK and you feel like, oh, it's a 15, just be advised this is riding the 15 to 18 rating line so hard. The amount of gore in this that even made me wince a couple of times. It's a gory, brutal piece of art, this movie. It's so brutal. It's very well worth the R rating. It's not using the R rating to just be gory for gory's sake. It uses it to its best effect. Other actors that do absolutely brilliant in this is one character in the trailer that I was curious about, and I was thinking maybe because all the attention was drawn to like Idris Elba's Bloodsport, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and John Cena's Peacemaker. I'm looking at the other characters and I'm thinking, huh, that Ratcatcher could be an interesting character, and Ratcatcher steals the show. King Shark does as well. Like, King Shark, voiced by Sylvester Stallone, is brilliant. The deadpan delivery is just Groot, but with more speech patterns, but with a more childlike innocence about it. And where's this big, muscly, meaty shark that's going around eating people, talking like a child and trying to be smart? It's absolutely adorable, and the dynamic between him and Ratcatcher 2 is magnificent. I really enjoyed the dynamic. But Ratcatcher 2, going back to her, Daniela Melchior does a fantastic job as Ratcatcher. She was a mood several times. There was this great moment with her and King Shark quite early on, and I just loved her story. She could have been just this quirky Malay who just wanted to sleep all the time, but she arguably has the best backstory of the lot of them, and she does a fantastic job in this performance and is hands down my favorite character within this. She is so well written and is very much a bigger part than you would expect from watching the trailers. That's what I really liked about this. James Gunn gave some of the lesser known characters a chance to shine. Even Polka Dot Man, he does absolutely brilliant. He gives some of the best lines in this film. When I'm talking about like deadpan comedy, nothing comes better than Polka Dot Man. There's two amazing moments which just had me in absolute stitches. And big props to David Dashmouth who plays him. He did a brilliant job. He is this awkward character that has a very sort of OP power. Like, these things, when they launch out, they incinerate people. Like, this film does not hold back on the brutality and the gore, and it's all the better for it. This movie succeeds where the original one failed. This film was a definition of show, don't tell. There is so much information that's conveyed through how the characters respond to things or the looks in their eyes when seeing certain things take place. The way characters just give that half look to each other, a little smile to each other. I honestly feel like that might go over a lot of people's heads, but honestly, watch this, and I will be watching this again. I think it's going to be my first repeat watch since cinemas reopened in the UK. Just watch these actors and characters interact off each other. And hard it's not even through words, just through actions and looks and expressions. It is really well done. I would say that first trailer does sort of ruin one of the best moments in the film, but honestly, I don't think the trailer showed too much. While it shows you a lot of plot points, it doesn't show you the character moments. Like, you buy these characters growing to care about each other. We know Amanda Waller is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and it is made apparent just through actions. Unlike in the studio heavily influenced 2016 version, they actually just show and let you put them pieces together yourself. There's none of, oh, we're the bad guys. Oh, that is a mean lady. It's just shown through performances, through looks, and people's reactions to certain characters. Viola Davis does a great job as Amanda Waller. She's not as heavily in this one as she was in the previous one. She does an amazing job as Amanda Waller, and I can't think of anyone else that could possibly play that character better in live action. One other thing I have to shout out, I don't think I do this enough on my channel, is talk about technical aspects. Now, the choreography and the fight sequences are brilliant, but so can we take a moment to appreciate Henry Braham? He comes back from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, returns in this one. His style is brilliant. There's a particular fight scene where you see half a fight through the reflection of a helmet. And there's also this clever stylistic element of the whole classic few days ago, or meanwhile text. Rather than have it shown in text, this film incorporates elements within the scene itself to display that this has taken place at a different time or at the same time to a previous scene. It is so well done, so well executed, and the lighting and the shots in this is just absolutely gorgeous. Like the technical prowess on show in this, not just James Gunn's style. You gotta give props to the lighting team, the cinematographer, everyone involved. It's just brilliant. And the soundtrack, as with a lot of James Gunn films, is phenomenal. The You can never argue with the Pixies' "Hey" showing up in the movie. It's just really well done. I just bought these characters as characters. They weren't just bad guys being bad guys. These were bad people, yes, but they are allowed to have character and to form genuine bonds with each other. So when we get to the inevitable points where they make certain decisions, we buy those every step of the way. And it's such powerful filmmaking on display here. Honestly, James Gunn, this is his vindication. After that whole debacle in 2018, I was rooting for this film so hard because Jesus Christ, that man deserves it. And this film utilizes everything that is good about his style of filmmaking, everything that's good about the Suicide Squad as a concept. It just works so well. Like I said, there are a couple of Harley Quinn exclusive scenes, and there's one that I don't think the film needed. I feel like you could have cut that scene out and just kept the second Harley Quinn scene in on its own, and it would have worked just as well. But it was a fun little distraction just to show us what Harley was doing at this particular time. Bodies start dropping from the get go, and this film does a great job with the deaths. Like, there are some deaths that are just outright hilarious, some deaths that are genuinely shocking and heartbreaking, and there are even some deaths that make me laugh, but also go, oh, they died. And yeah, I just dial it in sound when I see some of these characters go away. There is a lot of dark humor in this. It's like James Gunn took that dark humor that he was sacked for back in the day, obviously toned it down to a more reasonable level that wasn't so edgy, but it was dark enough that you just had to marvel in this. This film took so many risks. There was a lot of risks in this, and I'm glad this movie did it. It's sad to know that James is not coming back for another one, but the Suicide Squad is a Suicide Squad film that we have deserved this whole time, and I will be watching this again and again and again. And I can't wait to read more about these characters that I've learned about in this movie going forward when I go out and buy more comics. It's just so well executed. Definitely check out Suicide Squad when it comes out your end, or if you're in the UK, what you're doing right now. Go watch this movie. It is brilliant. Obviously, there are some pacing flaws. It can drag at times, and there are some scenes that I feel didn't need to be there and could have been cut out for time. But alas, I just really enjoyed this. Yeah. Before I get into my grave, if you like what I do on this channel, consider clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel for more reviews like this one coming all the time. And I would love to hear your thoughts, guys. Let me know, actually. I'm asking you guys a favor here. Tell me of any comic book that features Ratcatcher in it quite prominently, because I would love to read more on this character. Like, I love how a lot of small characters given that spotlight. No one's taking the shine. Like, even Harley Quinn, she is very much just part of the team. She's not the team. She's just part of it. And the unit that they end up being, is it perfect? No, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Heck, I spoke to someone that really didn't like this movie, so all more power to them. But for me, it's just everything I wanted and more. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm going to have to say that James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is a great cup of tea. So, The Suicide Squad, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about that in the comments below. Who is your favorite member of the Suicide Squad in this movie? In fact, would you like me to rank every member of the Suicide Squad in this movie? Because I would happily do that for a video. I just adore this movie so much. Do let me know you want to see that in the comments. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Carry on watching the movies and be good to each other. And until next time, my name is Josh. I have been your Movie Apprentice. I'll see you in the next video.